If you know about calendar blocking, you've probably been a friend of mine for a while. But the big question still rears its ugly head, and I get it a lot. Amy, what do you do when you run out of time with your calendar blocking? We're gonna unpack that today so that you can try to figure out how you can better use calendar blocking to go after the life you want. Good morning, life. Welcome back to AMYTV. Calendar blocking is just one of my favorite ways to go after the life I want and get things done and schedule my life because it gives me so much clarity. There is nothing like looking at a to-do list and then seeing what that to-do list looks like on your calendar. It makes it so real. So if we want to be successful with calendar blocking and not keep running out of time all the time, no matter how much we block to our heart's content, we need three things. The first thing is a goal. We need to have a goal with what we need to get done. When we are calendar blocking, it's not because we need help putting coffee appointments or doctor's appointments on the calendar. It's because we need help scheduling things that need to get done. So we're filling blank space on the calendar with tasks and giving them dedicated periods of time to get them done. Those tasks need to be directly tied to a goal. Otherwise, we are not going to have any motivation. Why? Because a goal is a dream with a deadline. So no matter what that dream is and what you hope to achieve, we've got to reverse engineer a deadline to make it a tangible goal. You might be saying, okay, well, my goal is just to do my job or to get these things around the house done. That's fine, but it's very likely that those items are not going to be tactfully calendar blocked, because if you don't have like real motivation for why everything's gonna be awesome when it gets done, probably gonna waste a lot of time during that block. If you say wanted to write a book, okay, great, someday I'm gonna do that. Someday is gonna just fly by. Right? It's gonna be days, it's gonna be weeks, it's gonna be months, it's gonna be years, and it's like I never got around to writing that book. Why? Well, if we say I wanna write my first book, I wanna have a first draft this time next year. Well, now we have 12 months that we can reverse engineer calendar blocking the time we need to become a master at writing your book. That's what we're talking about. We need that goal, we need something tangible. I wanna be able to say I'm posting videos 2 days per week. And if that's the case, I need to find those dates that they're going to be and reverse engineer how those videos will get done. They don't come out of thin air. I gotta sit down, I gotta talk and talk and talk and talk, and then they gotta get edited and they gotta get prettied up so that they can go out to YouTube land so you can watch. We've got to reverse engineer that. Without the deadline, it's not a real goal. It's just an idea. And ideas are good, but they are not something that we can calendar block. The second thing we need is a calendar. I don't care if you are a paper person or a Google Calendar person, a planner person, or an Outlook person. I don't care. It's completely up to you. It's how you do your best work. It probably has a lot to do with how many appointments you have on the calendar. I prefer to use Google Calendar for calendar blocking purposes because I don't have to use my pencil eraser as much. And also, it's something that I can work with my team. So they can see that tasks that are scheduled on my calendar are just as important as any other kind of appointment on my calendar. Without that calendar, it's gonna be kind of hard to block things on a calendar, isn't it? So you have to decide which one is right for you, and that's very, very important. But now we gotta find that blank space on the calendar. We go, okay, look, I got a big open space on Tuesday afternoon. That's when I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna start outlining the basics about the book I want to write, whether I know the title or I just know what the content is and I need to get thoughts out of my mind. We're gonna block time on that day. Okay, Amy, but I wanted to have my entire book outlined by the end of the day. And I gave myself 3 hours. That should have been enough. Sure, maybe. But if we don't show respect to the type of task that's at hand, how long it might take, and how much real thought and energy needs to go into it, then we're not going to block it appropriately. There's also one more thing to consider. Parkinson's Law. We talk about Parkinson's Law because, honey, it's true and it's affecting us all, okay? It's basically an epidemic at this point. Parkinson's Law says that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. So if you say that this task is going to take 3 hours, it is going to take every moment of that 3 hours because you've already programmed that in your brain. Not to mention the fact that if the task is so much bigger than what's possible with you, yourself, and anything you have in terms of resources in that 3 hours, you are going to hit the deadline and you're not going to be done. If you say, I am going to write a blog post and I already know what the outline is and I know what I think about it and I'm gonna give myself 3 hours, that blog post will still take you 3 hours because you have programmed your mind to think that you need the entire time. In all actuality, we could have taken a blog post task and shortened it up a little bit and said, I've already got my outline, I've already got a good idea of what needs to get done. I'm giving myself an hour because that's already a lot. We've got to give it 1 hour to get it to a place where we can ship it off to someone for approval, whether we need an editor or a proofreader or whatever the case may be. If your blog posts are more like 2 or 3 hour ventures, then fine, don't listen to me. But the reality of the case is that whatever space of time you think something's going to take, it will take that, and it may take more. So what are you going to do in those situations that you're going to run out of time? Well, first of all, we need to take a look at the calendar and say, we underestimated this. Maybe we're not masters in it yet, where we don't actually know how much time it really takes to get it done. So now we need to find more time for its completion and start to work with things. Now we've got to prioritize. Is this thing more important than the task I have to do tomorrow or the appointment I have tomorrow? Do we need to move some things around? Are we up against a deadline and we're not going to hit it? You've got to start to prioritize accordingly. And again, unless you have a goal that you're reverse engineering and something that's amazing at the end of all of this, are you going to bother going to all that effort? No, you're probably going to sit there with an undone book outline or blog post, and we don't want that. Which is why we need number 3, and that is the ability to say no. You cannot complete your calendar blocks effectively, and you cannot find more time when they do go longer than what they were originally supposed to, unless you have the ability to say no. You need your goal and you need your calendar so you can say no. Why? Because when you are focused on your goal and you know exactly what you want to get out of all of this effort, you'll look at your calendar and you go, what's on this thing that doesn't belong? What are we saying yes to that is making us say no to getting this writing project done? Why is that party or that event or that Netflix binging or that whatever more important to me than this goal? We have to say no to so many things so that we can say yes to what we truly want to work toward. So in order to make sure you don't run out of time with your calendar blocks, you need a goal, you need to structure your calendar appropriately, and that's by saying no. And then when you do run out of time, because you didn't plan accordingly and you maybe haven't been sticking with this type of task or calendar blocking for very long, so you're just getting acquainted with, oh, well, I had the TV on during my calendar block, or it took me about 30 minutes at the beginning of that block to get my coffee and like sit down and, okay, well, do we need to build in buffers? How do we make this process better? When you've gotten to the end of a calendar block and you say, I didn't finish it, I'm really disappointed, I don't know where I'm gonna find the time, definitely make note of what went wrong. And you know what it was. The kids were bothering me. I got too many text messages. I ended up in a TikTok black hole. You know what kept you from making the most out of that 2-3 hours. Or maybe if you only get 60-minute blocks, that's really reasonable. A lot of people only get that, but minutes go by very quickly. Do you spend too much time in the ramp up during your calendar block that you don't get the task completed? We forget that the starting point is the start of the task, not the start of the thinking about doing the task and maybe closing some windows on my, oh wow, what's happening on Twitter? No. The start of the task, honey, is the start of the calendar block. The end of the task is the end of the calendar block, if not before. That's what we're working toward. So get your goal, get your calendar, and start saying the word no more often when all of those things are not gelling, and you will find that your calendar blocks work really well. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers.